So this is a New York City thing. So for you people that are outside New York, don't think it's not going to affect you. Your people are probably doing the same thing in your state.
But it's already nationwide. In most urban centers, you will find whether or not it's rent stabilized apartments, low income housing is intentionally being kept off market to drive up the price of available housing.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, there has been a rent freeze in New York City. I know most people have heard about this. Mamdani has pushed for this. He got it through. But the thing is about this rent freeze that I think is interesting is that people are speaking about the people that are actually good landlords, people that actually take care of their buildings.
Hmm.
I think there should be something in place to take care of them so they're not coming out of pocket on things that they've actually been doing.
So
Like so,
I think we
go ahead.
spoke about this before. New York City already has two programs in place that do that. They have one that helps before, so either to renovate or to actually do new construction. And after the fact, they have another program that helps you maintain either if the landlord is having problems with collecting, if the landlord is having problems paying heating, electricity, things like that. They've got programs that the landlords can apply to get subsidized help for that.
Nice, nice. I think
It's
that is
just
something. Go ahead.
it's just that it's still not as much as renting a $1,500 apartment for $6,000.
That's ridiculous, man.
Hmm.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It's the level of profit that has them with their panties in a bunch. It's not profit because they will make money on it. They will make money. They just know that they can make more and they would opt out of making the little bit so that they could go into court and cry broke that they didn't make all of it.
Good old fashioned American greed, ladies and gentlemen. Good old fashioned.
Corporatism. Because the little individual landlords ain't going to get away with that, right? The, the
Absolutely.
the individual landlord might get to take advantage of that loophole or law once it's been exploited by a bigger corporation.
There's these small landlords are the ones I think that are taking a bigger hit than anybody else. But
Yep.
rent stabilization, there are more places that are, I believe the number was around 33,000 at one point, and it's up to 57,000, which means they're doing it even more, even after the data has been released that they even
Hmm.
have been doing it in the first place.
Well, and here's another statistic: 60 something percent of the rent stabilized apartments in New York City are owned by like less than 5% of landlords. So the
Mm,
vast majority of that is corporate or large scale landlord operations, right? It's not like there's not a lot of rent stabilized housing inside of a private house, right? Or inside of a small building. This is typically stuff that happens in large buildings, which are not owned by some small little real estate guy.
I'd say if you get an apartment right now, like a one bedroom that's like 1,300, yes, that's great.
In New York,
That,
that's a
yeah,
steal, bro. That's
that's a steal,
unheard
man.
of.
Yeah, but that's to me where it should be. It should be around 13, 1,400,
I
you
remember when
know?
it was. Me and my wife had two-bedroom right off Castle Hill, and we were paying about 11 a month. It went up to 11.50 a month. But at the time, this is when we were both at that MSP.
Hmm.
At the time, that was still fairly high for the neighborhood and the size of the apartment, but it
Gotcha.
wasn't ridiculous. That apartment
Right.
now is probably around 2,000 to 2,200 a month
Yeah, I was gonna say
easily.
25. I
Yeah,
was gonna say
I
25,
wouldn't be surprised.
you know. So this is a big win for Mondani, but they have to figure out this housing issue where these rent stabilized apartments are getting held up. And I don't know what move they can make, but
Uh,
outside of
Look, I mean, if you really wanted to be ham-fisted with the law, you could revoke the rent stabilization of those landlords' other apartments. Well, not revoke the rent stabilization. You can penalize them if they're intentionally keeping housing off the market.
I agree with you. I think there should be some kind of a fine that's hefty enough that hurts their pockets, that makes them go, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
let's fix this. Let's fix this. But this is the same process. Again, corporate, just American good old fashioned greed. It's the same attitude in regards to other things when it comes to businesses. They only will fix it if their bottom line is hurt. If their
Hmm.
bottom line is hurt, that's the only time.